Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhas. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhas. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhas. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello, Dhamma friends. Welcome to the inaugural week of our guest lecture series. Under this weekly guest lecture series, we will cover up more current and modern topics related to Buddhism to help benefit our community around the world. I certainly believe this effort by DHAMMA USA is going to help the community to apply Buddhist teachings in a more practical level. Let me at the very outset express my gratitude and thankful blessing to Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda for inaugurating this special guest lecture series. Let me invite him first to the screen. Yes. Teruvan Saranai Mahatya.
Saranai, and to everybody.
Okay, so
Thank you
today,
for inviting me to this program.
yes. So today we are actually going to start a very special program, and I hope this will be very helpful to many of our friends around the world. So Mr. Mahinkanda is a very dedicated and committed Buddhist who has been sincerely promoting the Buddhist teachings of nonviolence through his series of public speeches on veganism, a practice that needs a lot of courage and determination to adopt. One of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism is to abstain from killing or hurting others. This concept of nonviolence is very much witnessed in the Buddhist teachings, such as the five precepts, 10 wholesome deeds, 4 Brahma Viharas, 10 Paramitas, Noble Eightfold Paths, and in a large number of teachings in the Sutta and Vinaya Pitakas. Both the Buddhist clergy and the laity have to commit themselves to practice nonviolence in a real serious way. Dear Dhamma friends, I am sure you will be very interested in today's topic, eating animals versus Buddhism. Let's see what Mr. Mahinkanda has to offer today in defending this interesting topic. In a world where vegetarianism is hard to practice, let alone the veganism. Let's see how he justifies this topic according to Buddhist teachings as well as modern health standards. Please mark your calendar every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time to get more benefited from this guest lecture series. Kindly check with Dhamma USA YouTube channel and Facebook pages and Facebook groups for more updates. Let me tell a little bit about Mr. Mahinkanda. Ananda Mahinkanda is a nature lover, animal activist, and a strong promoter of compassionate and healthy living. He is a senior accountant and management consultant by profession and has worked in many different parts of the world, namely South Asia, Middle East, Africa, and North America. However, his passion now is to promote and educate general public about human health, animal welfare, environment, and the damaging impact of animal eating to our day-to-day life. He has gained a wealth of experience and knowledge by regularly practicing at the well-known annual workshop Vegan Summer Fest held at the University of Pittsburgh, Johnstown, USA. He has given many presentations on at national TV programs and social media platforms in Sri Lanka on the subject. He's also the founder of Samahita Nature Foundation of USA, a non-profit organization, and the advisor to the Nonviolent Society of Sri Lanka, established for the same purpose. He is an experienced meditator and an ardent Buddhist practitioner as well. I'm pretty sure you are all going to enjoy this topic today, that is eating animals versus Buddhism. Kindly post your questions in the comment section of DHAMMA USA YouTube channel so that we can answer them at the end of the talk. Without further ado, let me invite Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda to start his presentation on eating animals versus Buddhism.
Thank you so much, Theravada Saranai, and Theravada Saranai to everybody who is participating in this program. So I'm initially speaking in English, and if anyone wants to have any questions in Sinhala, also is okay. So this is a huge, vast subject. I don't know how much we can cover, but let's make an effort. So this is very controversial to many, but for few of us, I don't think so. It is very simple, very clear teachings about this subject, which is animal eating. Actually, Buddhism is talking about the nature. Specifically, the nature that is affecting you, your body, and mainly your mind. So all feelings, perceptions, happiness, unhappiness, and everything is felt by your mind. So this is all about mind. This is nature, how the mind works, how the mind reacts to various things, and how should we tame it or how should we handle it. That's about it, actually. Basically, managing the mind is all what Buddha has taught to us, explained to us. So in this, on this platform, and when it affects our day-to-day life, certain very important things like food, living, we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful whether we are practicing, we are doing according to what the Buddha says, according to what the nature wants us to behave, or whether we are doing something else. If you are doing according to the nature, according to what Buddha has explained, which is very, very clear, then we don't have to worry about it for the mundane life and also for the supramundane life. But if not, then you are in a great danger. Buddha has actually taught and explained in many, many occasions that even though we are working, we are practicing as Buddhists, even though we think that we are Buddhist, but people who go to a good place, a good realm after death, or attain nirvana or samadhi, is very few. In fact, he has given an example. He has given many examples similar to this. He has got some a little sand onto his fingertip on the nail, and he's asking the monks to compare the sand on the nail and the sand on the earth. He's asking what is just compare. Then the monk said, Bante, we can't compare because sand on the finger nail is very, very small. So Buddha says, monks, that is how after your death, that kind of a percentage only gaining a good birth. So even though we give a lot of dana, a lot of activities, we involve with lots of Buddhist activities, it does not mean that we are doing the right thing. So now this topic, eating animals, being a Buddhist kind of uh, practitioners, I want you to know, and I want to give some actually input, some resources also later on after this discussion, to go and check by yourself how damaging this practice is to your health, and to the environment. Needless to say, to the animals also. Animals. Let me give one or two few points just for you to keep in mind. We have 7.2 billion human beings on Earth. But do we know that every year we are slaughtering 75 billion land animals a year? 75 billion land animals alone, not the seafood, just land animals. So that means it is 10 times the world population. So 10 times the world population, we breed, we feed them, and ultimately we kill them, we slaughter them, and we eat. The world can't sustain. 80% of the production of grains goes to feed the animals. The world is in a huge water shortage right now, drinking water. But we are feeding animals, not having enough water for us to drink. And the health, 85% of the people on Earth right now, roughly about 80 to 85%, are dying of non-communicable diseases, heart diseases, cancer, diabetes, and so on. So for all these diseases, the main contributing factor is eating animal protein. So people have no idea about this. Milk is the biggest culprit. We produce, actually we drink milk till our death, but milk is only for the mother, only for the calf. I mean, we drink cow milk, right? So cow milk is for the calf, not for us. So no animal in the animal kingdom drink milk of another species. Also, no animal in the animal kingdom drink milk after the infancy. So the milk is for infants. If you drink milk after our infancy, of course, we never drink mother's milk after infancy. We drink cow milk anyway. So it is not for us, but still we drink. And what happens? We accumulate all these, we get all these diseases. And there are lots of YouTubes. My job is to actually introduce some of these documentaries to you today. So after this discussion, you can take your time and go through them and see the real truth, because we have no time to explain all that on this one. So coming back to Buddhism, now 90% of the Buddhists, I roughly say 92% of the Buddhists in the world, except Mahayana Buddhist, eat meat, contributing to killing. But what they say is that no, Buddha has not said no to it. Actually, Buddha had said no to it in many, many occasions. The only thing is, there are certain exceptions, because the monks were living on alms from third parties. So, and at that time, the Buddha's time also, like today, people had been eating meat on and off. So if a monk goes to a household for his alms rounds, and if that particular household had some meat, of course he will offer. Then we have to check we have to make sure that there is no involvement. My eating has no involvement absolutely on this killing of that particular animal. So therefore, they can eat. But that how they can eat, they have to eat it with lots of restrictions. I'm going to explain those restrictions shortly. There are about 10 occasions where Buddha has spoken about, not Buddha has spoken, but there are certain mentions about meat eating. But to me, only one place, in one sutta only, Buddha is explaining about whether it is good or bad meat eating, and I will explain shortly those conditions, how we can eat meat. So it's an exception. It's an exception. You should be 100% sure that you have no involvement. Your eating will not create any contribution, not only now, even to the future. Meat eating, animal killing, slaughtering. So if you are 100% satisfied with this condition, then there is a chance for you to eat. But that is again not for you go and you eat with desire, just for helping your body. That's all. But now what we have done today is that we have made the exception. We have generalized the exception. That is what we have done. We have generalized the exception. So the exception is an exception. Any system, any computer system, any world systems, we have certain exceptions that you can't avoid. But now what we are doing, the entire Buddhist world, what they're doing is that we have generalized the exception. So the general thing has become an exception. Exception has become a general thing. So which is very disadvantage. Very, very harmful for everybody. Now, when we have questions, when we have questions about the same topic, how do we decide what is right, what is wrong? What is the good thing, what is the bad thing? Buddha has given a fantastic acid test. Whenever we have different opinions about the same subject, specifically in Maharahulawada Sutta, Buddha says, monks, if when you hear something from me or from anyone, just see whether it is good for you or good for the others. If it is good for you and good for the others, irrespective of who promotes that, you just accept it because it is good for you and it is good for the others. If that particular action is creating a problem either for you or for the other person, at least one party, don't do that. Don't do that. So this is the same thing that is told in another sutta, Kalama Sutta. Kalama Sutta. So it is the same thing. You decide whether it is creating lobha, dosha, moha. He's asking from the Kalamas. I hope you understand this sutta. If not, please ask me later. So the Kalama Sutta, he says, the Kalamas say that, hey, Bante, everybody, all the teachers who come to this village, they say that my teaching is the right teaching and others are wrong. How can we handle this? Then the Buddha says, Kalamas, if something is told with greed, hatred, or delusion, is it good or bad? The Kalama says bad. If something is told with non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion, is it good or bad, Kalama? Oh, that's good, Bhante. So then you just see yourself whether it is told with desire or greed, hatred, or delusion, or non-greed, non-hatred, or non-delusion. So you are giving he's passing the word to the Kalamas. You better decide, and if you feel it is good, then you better follow it. If not, reject it. So this we can do this test, right? The same thing as I mentioned earlier, whether it is good for you and good for the others, you just accept and do it. If it is bad for you or bad for the others or both parties, just don't do that. Now, when it comes to this subject of animal eating, is it good for us or good for the others? It is absolutely bad for everything. It is bad for you because you create sicknesses. It is bad for the environment. It pollutes the environment, and it creates water shortage. It causing a mass extinction of species because of the clearance of forests and things like that. Methane and nitrous oxide, these are the biggest destructive emissions coming from this animal farming. It's more than the carbon dioxide released by the burning of fuel. It's huge. So and also definitely it is not good for the animals. You must understand how animals suffer with this. You must actually see at least one or two videos, documentaries in the factory farms, how the animals are treated. I have a small piece to show. If you find time, I can show that. So if this is bad for you and bad for the others, for both parties actually, so why you want to do that? It's only your craving for meat. One reason. The second reason is you don't know the actual facts about this subject. Anyone who knows about this will not get into this bad practice. Killing you, killing animals, killing the environment, killing your health. Just think, if you get sick and if you get bedridden with diabetes or a cancer or a heart attack or joint pains or osteoporosis or something, how much damage you do to yourself. Not only that, to your loved ones around you, your son, your daughter, and your wife. So it is very damaging. It's very it's very selfish if you just don't think about the others and you keep eating these things, causing deaths to animals and also to you. Now I'm going to. So there are so many other things actually I want to discuss, but I want to go back to a small presentation what I have, and I want to go through that with you. I hope everybody can see this. Now, our biggest problem right now is, friends, protein, health. So we think that we need animals to eat. If we don't have animal protein, we can't survive. That's a big myth. It's absolutely untrue. It's not right. Let me explain you a little thing. Okay, before that, you will see this slide. This is Hippocrates. He is the father of Western medicine. By the way, he is a vegan. He says, the famous quote, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." So if you eat a healthy diet, if you take a healthy diet, and that diet will work as your medicine, you don't need any other medicine. That's what it says. You don't need medicine. If you take your day-to-day meals, your food correctly with a plant-based whole foods diet, then you don't have to worry about sicknesses. I guarantee you won't get diabetes. You won't get heart diseases. You won't get cancer. It might be an exception. 90% of the people will live healthy, will live long. So now this is what the father of the Western medicine says. So I'm going back to, actually this slide is in Sinhala. It's saying the same thing. If you don't eat food as medicine at the beginning, then you will eat medicine as food. I mean, we know nowadays people are, your pills, maybe sometimes 10, 15 grams every day. You take that much of pills, medicine, and you are just living on medicine. That is
Mr.
not what I mean.
Mahinkanda,
Yes.
can you please show this as full so that the slide is more visible?
Okay, let me see. How do I do that?
You can go to slideshow.
Okay, can you see that now?
Um,
Is it bigger? Is it
we
bigger
can
now?
see, I mean, we can see, but it's not bigger.
It's
Maybe
not bigger.
if you go to slideshow on the top,
Okay.
and then you can go to
Let me see here.
slideshow on the top.
How big you see this? Half of the screen, or quarter of the screen, or full screen? One thing.
Yeah, like it's okay if it's difficult. Just go ahead.
Okay, because
But I
in my screen, my computer, it is actually big. It's taking almost full screen.
okay, okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay,
please go ahead.
sorry about it. Let me see. Let me see whether I can make it a little bigger. Okay. Now, when we talk about the present day medical practice, this cartoon is world famous. This cartoon is by Dr. D. Nonis. Dr. D. Nonis is a plant-based diet promoter, and he's the one actually treated President Clinton for his cancer, and he made him a plant-based person. So this is fantastic. Now here, look at this one. This tap or the faucet is, you know, these two doctors are cleaning the, mopping the floor without closing the tap. So this is what is happening in our medical practice today. People are not treating the root cause of the disease, but they are just uh, giving medicine to the symptoms. So this is a very, very bad practice. Fortunately, the Eastern medicine like Ayurveda and stuff, they were treating for the root cause, but now the practice is not well practiced, you should say. The Western medicine, of course, taken over, but we are just trying to um, manipulate the disease, but we don't really cure them. So now this is Dr. Kim Williams. Dr. Kim Williams is the immediate past president of the American College of Cardiology. He says there are two kinds of cardiologists: vegans and those who haven't read the data. So if a cardiologist know the exact, if he know the subject, he know the data, then he should be a vegan. That is what this doctor says, and this is the president of the American College of Cardiology. And this is Dr. Neil Bernard. Dr. Neil Bernard is a very famous, very well-known doctor. He is the president of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine in the USA. He is an ardent promoter of uh, vegan diet, and also uh, and also he's taking this one is, this subject, this education to the entire world. Sometimes recently, actually, he has sued the FDA or USDA, I think USDA, and he won because their food guidelines and food guidance and things like that are wrong, because those institutions are run by the big pharma, big dairy and big meat companies, and they are funded by those. So it's very difficult to tell the truth the truth will not come out to the world because these are being handled by these big companies. So he's fighting. He's fighting against, and he's actually winning in the court of law. So he says the beef industry has contributed to more American deaths than all the wars of this century, all natural disasters, and all automobile accidents combined. If beef is your idea of real food for real people, you had better live real close to a real good hospital. There are so many quotes like that of Dr. Neil Bernard. So let's see. And there's another quote by him. If you are consuming dairy products, you are at tremendous risk of weight gains, certain cancers, cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes. This is Dr. Colin Campbell. This is Dr. Colin Campbell. Colin Campbell is a professor of Cornell University. Now he's old. In fact, I met him recently also. He's now about 80 some plus years old, but he's still riding his bicycle. So he was given a task by the Cornell University to do a research about animal protein, how helpful the animal protein will be to your body. So when he did the research, so you see on the right hand side, right top, the China study, the famous China study is done by him. He involved, I think, thousands of people for this research, and ultimately he found animal protein is the worst for your body. So when he came with his new findings, the Cornell University fired him. So that is how our institutions work. So and he is now a big time educator about this subject. He says cow's milk protein may be the single most significant chemical carcinogen to which humans are exposed. Cow's milk protein. Friends, you don't know how damaging the cow's milk protein is. It is so damaging. We can, if you find time, we can discuss these things, and if you have any questions, we can discuss later on as well. This is also him. He says, I know of nothing else in medicine that can come close to what a plant-based diet can do. Actually, this particular quote is by our great scientist, Einstein. Einstein is a vegan too. I know of nothing else in medicine that can come close to what a plant-based diet can do. If you are resorting to a plant-based diet, you don't really need medicine. This is one of my great doctors, Dr. Michael Klepper. The human body has no more need for cow's milk than it does for dog's milk, horse's milk, or giraffe's milk. I mean, think about it. Why only we eat cow's milk? What is the reason? Why not the other milk? There is no need. There is no need. That's what he says. This is Dr. Dean Ornish. So I told you earlier, Dr. Dean Ornish, Dr. Dean Ornish is the one who made that cartoon. There are a couple of other cartoons by him. It's very interesting. And he's the one who actually treated President Clinton. And also he has an institute, I think it is lifestyle medicine. He's the one who promoted the lifestyle medicine. What do you mean by lifestyle medicine? Curing the diseases by changing the lifestyle, basically changing the diet. This is a big time thing right now. And, the people who are bedridden, almost dying, can be cured by changing the diet. I'm sure in your families, you may be having people like that. Your aunts, uncles, mother, father, who knows? And you might want to try that and see how fast they change their condition. He says, think about it. Heart disease and diabetes, which account for more deaths in the US and worldwide than everything else combined, are completely preventable by making comprehensive lifestyle changes without drugs or surgery. Without drugs or surgery. And this is real. Friends, this is real. All right, so we are going on. This is Dr. Michael Greger. Dr. Michael Greger has a fantastic story. I don't know whether you have heard about these books. You know, I have been putting the titles of their books here: How Not to Die, then How Not to Diet. So these are famous two books by Dr. Michael Greger. So Michael Greger has a story. When he was a 9-year-old boy, his grandma got a heart attack, and she was rushed to the hospital. Then the doctors said, "Oh, sorry, it's too late. It's a severe heart attack. We can't cure her. You better take her home. She might live a couple of days, and give whatever she wants, and just watch. That's it." So then they were not satisfied with that answer. Of course, they had to bring the grandma back home. And after that, they showed her to another doctor called Pritikan, if I remember correct. And he changed her diet. He completely converted her to a plant-based eater. And guess what? This grandma completely cured and lived another 30 years. So this happened to her when she was 65 years old, and she died at 95 in good health. So just by changing the diet, they could do that. So it has a fantastic impact on your life, the diet. This is Dr. John McDougall. This is another very prominent doctor. He says high protein diets make you sick in the long term and short term. Expect kidney disease, heart diseases, and more strokes and cancer. Plus, the weight loss is temporary because you can't stay sick for long. Look at the creator of these diets. Many are fat themselves. So this is Dr. John McDougall. Again, I'm giving at least 2 books of them, on the both sides on the top of the slide. If you are interested, you can go through them and actually read more. And this is another pioneer of this subject. He's Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. He and Dr. Colin Campbell, I showed you earlier, are the 2 pioneers of this. I think they have been talking about this last 30, 40 years. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, he says, some people think the plant-based diet, plant-based whole foods diet is extreme. He says 500,000 people a year will have their chest opened up and vein taken from their legs and sewn onto their coronary artery disease, arteries. Some people would call that extreme. So what is extreme? Eating a good diet is an extreme, or allowing the doctors to open up your chest and do all kinds of things inside the heart? Is that the extreme? So he's asking. Now this slide actually tells us, this is generally the picture of the entire world, but this is Sri Lanka. This is the World Bank study. See the people in Sri Lanka, 82.5% of the people, 82.5% of the deaths are due to NCGs, non-communicable diseases. In the year 2000, it was 72.9. And in the year 16, it is 82.5. See the dramatic increase because of this wrong diets. So this is what is happening everywhere in the world also, especially the developed countries. This percentage is more. You might want to Google and see some countries have 90% death rate by the NCDs, non-communicable diseases. These are completely preventable, completely preventable. So now these are, I just got few doctors. There are so many other doctors, but these are few doctors. Bhante, I don't know how much time I have. Anyway, so we'll I think, I'm sure we have another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's okay. You can have some.
Yeah, go on. Okay. So now we think, okay, these are the doctors. What about the scientist? Talk about animal eating. So this is the great scientist. So he is a vegan. He says nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. This is what the Einstein said. And some mothers, some parents, they think that, oh, if I don't give my child some, animal proteins, so they don't survive, they can't excel in the school and so on, which is completely wrong. Completely wrong. So he is the most intelligent person, of course, in our era, which we say, but he's a vegan. And there's a long list of scientists, but I'm just giving one or two people here. And this is another great scientist we know, Isaac Newton, right? The one who found the gravity and all. He says, I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. And there are so many other quotes. He's a vegan as well. And this is Sir Thomas Alva Edison, the one who found this electricity and all, the electric bulb and all that. He says, non-violence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, other lower living beings, we are still savages. This is Thomas Alva Edison says. So is he less intelligent? No, they were plant-based eaters. And this is Pythagoras. We know all Pythagoras. And Pythagoras is a vegan too. He says, as long as man continues to be the ruthless destroyer of lower living beings, he will never know health or peace. For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. that is what we are doing. We are killing each other. So Pythagoras is also actually, I think he lived about 2,600 years, 2,500 years ago. He's about 50 years after Buddha's death, he was born. So I'm sure these people those days may have had some influence of Buddhism as well, but they were very intelligent, very educated people. And what about the other scientists, other thinkers, the philosophers talk about animal eating? Look at this list: Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Leonardo da Vinci, Charles Darwin, Leo Tolstoy, Martin Luther King, Benjamin Franklin, Mahatma Gandhi, George Bernard Shaw. They are all vegans. They didn't eat animals. Can you believe this? They never ate animals. So these people, these philosophers, actually, they had a really kind heart and knowledge about their bodies. And Lord Buddha, what happened to that? Now, when we, the Buddhist world now, they want to eat meat, they quote Buddha and say, oh, Buddha didn't say not to eat meat. This is what they say now. See how abusing we are when it comes to Buddhism and animal killing. We are abusing Buddhism. This is not right. Lord Buddha has never said. Those little exceptions have been created, has been generalized. That's what has happened. If you have some questions, maybe we can answer this question. We can discuss this later. So basically, also I want to show you some of the documentaries. Now, this is all what I said. Friends, if you have time, when you get some time, free time, I beg you, please, for your own sake, own health, just watch one or two of these videos. Forks over knives. Forks over knives is what I was actually converted. Actually, my wife was converted to veganism because of this. By the way, I want to mention that I have been eating all kinds of meat up to the year 2000. I was in Africa at that time. I was working there, I was living. And before that, I was in the Middle East for about 8 years. Before that, I was in Sri Lanka. So we had been eating meat like anything. So, but we had in the back of our mind, we always knew that this is not a right thing. Anyway, so I became a vegetarian, but still thinking that no, we have to have protein and things like that, thinking like that, the normal myths. So we had been taking eggs and dairy up till 2016. Then 2016, I happened to go to this seminar called workshop Vegan Summer Fest in Pennsylvania at the University of Pittsburgh. And there, in my first lecture, the lecture that I participated, that was Dr. Michael Greger I showed you earlier. And when I heard his story and when I listened to him, then I immediately thought I would never ever take any animal. I would never ever eat any animals or animal things in the future. So these documentaries you can download from internet. Forks over knives, Educated. This one, Cowspiracy. This the third one is Cowspiracy. This will tell you how damaging, what kind of a destruction we do to the environment, the global warming and things like that by eating animals. The Food Inc. The Game Changers. The Game Changers. Now the Game Changers will tell you the vegan athletes how helpful the veganism will be to these bodybuilders and athletes like Carl Lewis and all those people, Martina Navratilova, present day Serena Williams, and all those people are vegans now because they want to converting to veganism because they want to maintain their health and performance. And What the Health, Vegan 2018. These are some of the documentaries. I urge you to at least watch a couple of these things. These are free. Some you have to pay also, but there are free versions as well in the internet. So this is what UN says about this cattle rearing and the greenhouse gases coming from the animal farms, how damaging it is to the environment. There are so many. I'm just rushing through. And just look at one of these. See, I'm sorry, this is in Sinhala, but what it says is, this picture tells you we are trying to satisfy our taste buds, but see what is the animal going through. Is it fair? Is it Buddhism, or is it justice? Now see, countries like Sri Lanka and less modern countries, they kill animals like in very very abusive ways. So I want you to think whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. And I'm not going to go into details. Now I want you to just actually see this slide. Now we always think that dairy is good for us. We need dairy for our bone health. But actually what is happening is dairy is the killer. And if you Google the dairy versus osteoporosis, the highest dairy consuming countries are the ones that have highest osteoporosis. What happens here? This dairy and meat, because the nitrogen that they have in those elements, they create nitric acid and uric acid. So to neutralize the uric acid and this acidity, they have to they have to get, they will get calcium from the bones, and they will weaken the bones. And also these little calcium particles, on the other hand, goes to the kidneys and make kidney diseases as well. So this is very harmful. If you have osteoporosis, never ever you should drink milk. Um, and a few other slides. Bante, we have time?
Um,
Maybe 5 minutes?
okay, sure.
All right. So I just wanted to show a few other slides. Now, uh, if you are a Buddhist and if you think that Buddha ate, Buddha's last meal was uh, pork, that is not true. Buddha ate this particular thing. This is a mushroom. This is called truffle. Truffle. Truffle is the most expensive food in the world even today. So to dig this, to find this, you need the pigs. Nowadays, of course, they train dogs. You find them in the area where Buddha lived, in Kusinara area even today. But basically in France, in Germany, and also some parts of America, they find this. And this is called truffle. So Buddha's last meal was not of pork. And I think I will. So I have some other slides, but I'm going to leave it. This is Jivaka Sutta, the highly abusive sutta that we are using to promote meat eating. But when you really read the Jivaka Sutta, there's no way you can eat meat. I can explain if you can find times. But this is what you need to eat: the water, the leafy greens, and the fruits, and the nuts, and things like that. And so that is basically my presentation. And so this is what the Buddha basically say: all beings fear danger. Life is dear to all. When a person considers this, he does not kill or cause to killing. So this is Buddha Dhammapada, verses 129. And there are so many other places, other instances where we can explain what has exactly Buddha talked about ahimsa, or non-violence, or animal killing. But I think we have covered a fairly topic, and I think I open the forum for questions.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda, for your interesting speech on eating animals versus Buddhism. I'm sure all our Dhamma friends around the world were benefited today. We will take up your questions now, and we encourage you to post your questions through the DHAMMA USA YouTube channel or social media network. Very interesting, I think. You yourself have been, you said you have been practicing non-veg and for a very long time, and so right now you are a complete vegan, and
Yes,
I understand that you are very healthy and you don't take any medicine. um,
yes.
so what brought you to this uh, wonderful habit of veganism?
Um, yeah, actually, uh, in the back of my mind, when we grow up, of course, at the beginning, we have been living in certain, remote areas in Sri Lanka also. So when we go home, uh, my father was actually, transferred to a very remote area in Sri Lanka uh, on a political, punishment, basically. So we were in Colombo, and we were schooling in Colombo. And when we went there, of course, we get together with the village folks and the boys, and sometimes we went fishing, we went hunting, and all that. So sadly, the environment sometimes take you to, uh, if you are not mindful, you are being dragged on to the wrongdoings. But anyway, later on, I have been having this. I'm doing something wrong. It's not good. if we want to live happily, and how can we harm others? So that's the basic question. So with this thinking in the year 2000, when we were in actually Nairobi, Kenya, uh, I thought that no, I am going to stop it. So then we stopped. Actually, we wanted to try this 2 years ago when we were in Dubai also, but somehow or another I couldn't manage. But my wife continued from 1998 because I had lots of international traveling with my business work. Therefore, you had to uh, eat meat because my mind was not strong at that time. But I had a strong determination in the year 2000 that no, I'm not going to eat this. But still, so I was very successful. But I thought at that time also, like many other people, oh no, but still we have to have protein. Therefore, I had to drink milk. I had to take eggs, and so we have been eating this. But up to the year 2000, when I attended, 2016, when I attended this seminar, a workshop, a vegan summer fest at Pennsylvania, I thought, oh my God, what are we doing to our bodies and to the animals and to the environment? It was a huge awakening, frankly speaking. Then I thought I would never ever touch any animal protein. I would never eat it. So, Bante, to answer that, you have to have actually a sincere mind also, frankly speaking. Otherwise, you will not be able to do that. I mean, people know, like, for example, people who resort to drinking, people who resort to drugs, they know this is not good, but still they consume that.
Mm.
Now, for me, uh, when we when we came to know, but I had the guts, Frank. So I had the effort. I had the guts to say no to it. So now this is what is lacking actually in many people. So they know they are not doing right thing.
Mm.
They always have the doubt. Oh, am I contributing to killing? Am I contributing to killing? So Buddha has clearly said that if it is doubtful, if you have any doubt, now when we go to the butchery, or when you go to the supermarket, and when we get 5 kilos of 5 pounds of chicken or whatever, when you come to the counter and checking counter, the moment you scan that, you are the one who is giving the order to bring another 5 pounds of chicken either tomorrow or next week or whatever. This is all computerized. So you are the one who is giving the order to kill, slaughter someone. So um, I don't want to get into that thing, and I'm very happy now. I'm very very healthy, and there were certain issues at the beginning, and we sometimes still feel some repercussions about those things, but I have no diabetes or pressure or anything like that, and so I want to spread this news to everybody to
Yeah.
say, hey, be healthy at least. Forget about the animals. I mean, if you're not animal lover, doesn't matter, but at least for your own sake, for your health and for your loved ones' comfort, just get out from that habit. That's my request.
Yeah. I think I also remember when I came to US, I was little worried. And how do I practice my vegetarianism here when I come? I was really worried. Like I because I have heard so many like meat here, like, and then when I came to America, I found there are so many options for us.
Hmm.
Last time when I went to Italy, also when we were going for arms round,
Hmm.
and I noticed that people even offered us, non-veg stuff. But then we had a lot of options, so we never had any difficulty. Um, and I think also the Buddha, when he prescribed the five precepts, for example, it's about how respectful we should become to all sentient beings, right? When you respect the animals, animals also naturally feel that vibe, they feel that kindness, right? They will also be kind to us, and they will not probably be aggressive. I notice some people, they have an issue with the animals. They are more attacked by the animals sometimes. But I'm sure the animals sense it. They have more hypersensitivity when it comes to those meat eating or hunting people. But those people who are practicing loving kindness, I'm sure they will also feel it, and that is how the Buddha survived in the forest. Many practitioners, they survived in the forest.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
They had
Okay.
plenty of things to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we have some people talking about here a very interesting topic. Um, and Mangal Vardhan say also joining us today, and Savita Ramtheke also is joining us, and we have I think Facebook user, he says, so it's a great lecture. Is it possible to share the deck? So
Yeah,
that's
I can
about,
do that.
yeah. Okay. So hopefully we will share with you this thing. Navodaya Kalpani says killing animals or eating the flesh of dead animals is very sinful.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
we
it's,
have to make sure that, I mean, we need to understand that they are not actually dead animals, the animals that have been killed. So, so that is the key here. And even Buddha's time, we call it pavattamansa. Pavattamansa is sometimes allowed, like the naturally dead animals, like there were jungle areas, and sometimes the tigers eat deer and the leftovers. So these things actually had been selling in the market those days. Pavattamansa. It's not the animals that were killed for eating purposes. So there are uh, some discussions about, some debates about those things as well. Um, and I don't know whether I want to mention here uh, a common question people normally ask Mante is that when Devadatta demanded uh, uh, that no bhikkhus should eat meat. No, that's a very famous question everybody's saying. And
yeah, I
what
was
Buddha said,
about to pose that question to you. Yeah.
okay. So why he said no? No, actually Buddha uh, disallowed all those five questions. They had asked five questions about the robes, about living under trees, and so forth. So the reason is this. There's another story. During the Buddha's time, the there are a few monks were going on alms rounds, and they got lost in the jungle. So ultimately, they were not finding food, any food. Then you know, all of a sudden, they found some. After a couple of days, they found some fresh bones, and some pieces of flesh of a bird that was eaten by a eagle. So what they did was they took this meat and made a soup with their bowls, and they survived, by the way, with that food. And then they went to uh, later on they found the way to the village, and of course they went they went back to their monastery, and then they were but very doubtful because they had to eat this. Then they went and asked from the Buddha, Bante, we did something like that. Is it okay? But Buddha said it's okay, because now that meat, what they ate, was not meant for the monks. It's very clearly a different incident. Eagle ate this bird, I think Watakurula, they call it, and uh, and there's no connection of that monks eating meat and that killing. But nowadays, when we go to the supermarket, when we buy meat, it is meant for humans' consumption. These animals are bred and also feed and grow them and ultimately kill them, thinking, okay, we have to kill them so that we can sell. You know, just for the consumption. So what I feel is that when we go to the supermarket and when we get meat, buy meat, we are always contributing to this killing, and we are always doubtful. And if there is a doubt, you are not allowed to eat. That's what. If you go back to, I can explain if we have time, the Jivaka Sutra and other places. If you have any doubt about what you eat, then you should avoid that. Avoid that. So there are many other instances, like um, Dhammadaya Sutra. I can remember one day you explained that to me, Bhante.
Yeah.
Dhammadaya Sutra. Dhammadaya Sutra. There's another one which is Nanda Nanda Brahmachari Sutra, and Buddha explains that you have to eat meat with non-violence, not meat. You have to take your food with ahimsa, and there are so many other, of course, the other, like all beings fear danger. Sabbeta samvidandasya sabbe bhayanti machuno, like that, and Samma Sankappa in the Arya Ashtanga Marga, Eightfold Path, the second one, Samma Sankalpa. So what is Samma Sankalpa? It has to be non-violent. It has to be, you have to explain loving kindness, loving thoughts, and things like that. Right livelihood, of course, they say you should not, resort to killing and all that. So it is very clear in Buddhism, but we are making stories for our benefit, our desire.
I remember in some modern day big shopping malls, the certain live animals are there for sale. That's
Yeah.
like not clearly dead animals. They are live, and people just go and they say this is what we need, and they say, okay, this is more healthy, more nutritious. Uh, yeah. What?
They, yeah, but they don't know how bad it is. Actually, frankly speaking, like things like hormones like cortisol, it's a very poisonous hormone. When animal come under stress, when they are in fear, in danger, this cortisol, I mean, even human bodies make these hormones, and ultimately, because they are very stressful, like for example, pigs, and sometimes those pigs, sometimes in the small cages, they eat the iron bars because they are so stressful, they can't turn even.
Mm,
It's inhuman. I mean, I don't know when people know how they are uh, handled by human beings. There is no humanism at all. So I don't know any person who has some kind of a mindfulness, sympathy, and loving kindness, compassion. I don't think this is a field where we want to uh, uh, get into. And let me tell you another few things
I think
about
I think
this.
we can go to this question and
Yes,
we
go ahead.
come back to like here. Katichu asks, I have tried to eat vegetarian 1 2 days during the full moon and new moon. I
Mhm.
have tried to switch to vegan for 1 month, then get back to normal. My body feel weak, and so
Mhm.
do you have any suggestion how to get enough nutrients while continuing vegan diet?
Mhm. Actually, it's a good question. Let me tell you, first of all, that is your mind. It never happens. I guarantee. But see, I mean, this will tell you that you want to eat meat, and you feel, you think, you have been told if you don't eat meat, you don't get enough nutrients. Let me tell you something. First of all, that is not true. It's your own mind creating some stories for you. Number one. Number two, when it comes to animal protein, basically what we get with animals meat is protein, right? Protein. Uh, you don't get any fiber. You don't get any fiber, zero. You don't get any antioxidants, it's zero. Some like beef, you get a little bit of iron, and some meat, you of course meat gets B12 vitamin. Generally, what you get with meat is only protein. What does the protein do? The protein makes your muscles. Simple. That's it. So um, the for the humans there are 9 essential amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So animals don't make these 9 essential amino acids. Kathy, please just Google and see what are these 9 amino acids. You can find on Google or when you on internet. Basically, all these essential amino acids are there in the plants. So if you want to get protein, you have to get it from the source. So that's the best protein you get. All legumes like beans, uh, lentils, whatnot. There are so many kinds of beans, soybeans, and kidney beans and pinto beans in the United States. Even places like Sri Lanka, there are lots of legumes. You call them legumes. So legumes are full of proteins. But let me address one little issue here. Some people think the animal protein is superior, but the plant protein is not that good. Why they say so? There is a little point to that. What's happening is when you take animal protein, all those 9 essential amino acids are there in those animal protein. I mean meat. Why? Because they eat plants. They eat plants. But for the human body, that animal protein is not that absorbable. So in plants sometimes you get 5 essential amino acids. Another plant will have 6 essential amino acids. Like things like soybean, of course, they have all 9 amino acids. So each and every plant normally don't have all these 9. So that is how the body is absorbing them. So it is easy for the body to absorb from the plants. That is why you have to have a variety of items in your food. So that is how the nature has made us. And if you really see our body structure, I mean, if you have time, you can explain that it is not for animal eating. It is not for meat eating. But before that, I want to tell you, now when you eat meat, with meat, what you get, in addition to protein, you get cholesterol, animal cholesterol, right, which is very bad for our health. Saturated fat from animal, which is very bad for our health. And hormones, the hormones that is being produced by animal body, and also hormones that we are putting on animals to make them fat. Hormones, these are very, very harmful for us. Then various other chemicals for, preservatives and things like that. So these are all harmful for the human body. Also remember, with meat, we never get any fiber. We never get minerals. We never get other things. We never get fiber and antioxidants. Zero. Nothing. These are all coming from the plants. So with plants, you get protein and all the other things that we need. So if someone thinking that I'm getting weak, that is the mind. Actually, what happens is, if you are a heavy meat eater, when you stop eating meat, you feel lighter. That is what you need to do. That is what you need to have, actually. Your body becomes lighter, you are more active and things like that. Some people misinterpret as saying that I'm weak. No, you're not going to be weak. It is just the habit, and give a little time for the habit. Like, for example, if I take a tea in the morning, if I stop taking the tea in the morning, then you feel something missing in you. So that kind of a mindset will be there, but that is very temporary.
Yeah, I think this craving for food is a really big issue. I think like when the monks have what we call pacha vekana, or when they contemplate on the food, they say, wisely reflecting, I use arms food, not for fun, not for pleasure, not for adornment, not for beauty, only for the nourishment and health of this body, and for sustaining my spiritual practice. I will eliminate old unpleasant feelings, and I will not produce new unpleasant feelings. In this way, I'll be blameless and comfortable. So this is very true. Like I remember we were walking in from New York to Washington D.C. For 11 days, and then I was also involved in walking from in Florida for 7 days. We walked like almost every day. We walked around 25 miles, And that time, I think at the beginning, I was a little bit concerned because we worked the whole day and it was so difficult. And at the end of the day, I don't know how to survive. Like, and then I noticed that my other Thai monks, they were so cool. They did not have anything, just had some light snack or something that allowable, cool drink or medicinal drink or something. That's it. And that was just a mind matter. And when you get out of that attitude that I don't take dinner, I'm okay. So ever since I didn't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
So we kept walking and only one meal a day. And I remember in Italy also we walked a lot, one meal a day, and that was okay. I mean, for our survival of the body, we need a lot of water, yes, and some food like should be okay. I think the more we eat, the more toxic we become,
Okay.
especially when it comes to the
Mm.
meat eating. I
Yeah.
I have a question, Mr. Ananda. Like, should we assume that when when we see the animals are killed,
Hmm.
that animals get angry, right? They are very sad or they are very depressed and stressed.
Hmm.
So can we say scientifically that that body becomes so toxic, and when we eat that body, it becomes more toxic for us?
Yeah, of course it happens. That's why I said the hormones like cortisol, adrenal, these hormones are very toxic, Bante. So these are called the like cortisol is called kind of flight and fright hormone. Like like when we get upset, when someone is trying to kill us, either we fight or we run away from that incident. So there's lots of hormonal effects is going through your body. So these hormones actually these animals especially continuously, especially like especially pigs and chicken, they are caged. They are they are called factory farms. They can't even turn sometimes.
I know.
So and and they are always stressful. So they always stressful. They always kill. I mean, they are like, for example, beef. Like if you see how uh, barbaric the dairy industry, Bante. So every time when you get a baby, actually these are all by force. Just you put not natural ways that you get pregnant. The dairy cows. It's all mechanical things. They insert various things to the womb, and that's how they make them pregnant. And the moment the baby is born, taken away, and the mother cow cries, but then putting various hormones and mechanical ways, then they suck the milk. And if the baby is a male, then they'll be slaughtered immediately, because no point of keeping them. If it is a female, then they are fed with soy milk and stuff, to
Mm.
give the same treatment to the mother, like the mother. Chicken is also like that. If the male, they are just killed instantly in first day itself. So remember, they are all women. The females are suffering actually. In a
Yeah.
way, it's the male animal, male uh, chick or calf is okay, because they are being killed instantly. They don't suffer actually. It's not the right statement, but what I'm saying is, and they undergo that hormonal effect continuously, and they accumulate these bad hormones in their bodies, and after 10-15 years, not actually 10 years, when they are killed, we eat all these poisonous toxicated meat, which is very harmful. That's why these doctors now say, the main reason for NCDs, non-communicable diseases, is meat.
Mm.
uh, all kinds of saturated fat, hormones, cholesterol, all those things coming to our
I
body.
was I was very fascinated when you mentioned that there were quite a lot of scientists, and also especially the sportsmen, like you said, Venus Williams, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Uh, They are vegan. I was really wondering how they maintain.
No,
Um,
that is why Bante. Now they all say when they after they became vegan, vegans their performance are better.
mm,
you know, that's why I'm saying we are in a myth. We are in a big ignorance. World doesn't know what the truth is. So
mm,
that is, I mean, that's a job of every human being to tell this to the other people. There is nothing like that, and I think people like us from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was a very prosperous country those days, and that time we didn't eat meat. When we made all these big tanks and stupas and various, Buddhist temples,
mm,
we were exporting rice and whatnot to the entire world those days. We were not eating meat because the history says that, various books say that, we were very, uh, we were rejecting meat eating, like, Europeans say those days when they came to our country. Sri Lankan people are totally different, like that. Yeah, so you can make nations, you can build nations by vegetarian diet, actually.
Shall we take up another question from Valentin Venos? What
Mhm.
is the difference between eating animals and eating vegetables?
When you eat animals, you can ask the. Let me ask the same question from you. If someone is coming and eating you and eating animals, what would you like? You will ask, "Oh, why are you coming and eating me? And there are so many other things for you to eat." Same question. So it is ahimsa. It is so we have to put ourselves uh, in the animal's shoes. Why should we eat them?
Mm,
Why? And let me explain a few things about the human body. The human body is not meant for meat eating. It is
mm,
absolutely for plant eating. Let me
mm,
give few examples. Actually, there are so many. Like the carnivores, they are jaws. They can only do like that, up and down, up and
mm,
down. They can go horizontal.
mm,
But the herbivores, they can, because they have grinding teeth, the molars inside, so they have to grind. They with the flat teeth in front, they break the food and grind it and eat, right? But the carnivores have only very sharp, strong teeth, few teeth here and there, just to tear it off and just gulp it. That's it. They don't grind.
mm,
And so jaws can operate only up and down, but ours is different. Horizontally also can do. And when you drink water, the carnivores, they use the tongue. They put the tongue out and take the water in,
mm,
like that. You see, remember how a dog or a cat or a lion drink water, but we don't do that. We suck the water. If you take even with the cup, we just suck the water. We don't put the tongue out when you eat, when you drink liquids. So, and the intestines, your GI tract, generally, the carnivores is very short. It's the size of the body or 1.5 times of the body length. But ours is 5-6 times. All the plant eating animals, they have a long GI tract because it's not easy to digest because the fiber content. The fiber really takes little time to digest, and so that's another thing. And what else? The carnivores can stay without meal for a long time, sometimes days, weeks, and sometimes months. And like animals like crocodiles, they can eat. They can be without uh, food for about 6 months, even 6 months
mm,
they can survive. But the plant eaters, they always have to bite. They always want to eat something. We always eat. The cows, the elephants, and deers, they they all eat.
mm,
What are the others? And the acidity of the body, and there are another thing is, if a carnivore takes his meal, and that animal will not have a regeneration, only
mm,
one time. But the plant eaters, most of the times, there's a regeneration. uh, like, for example, you go and get some mangoes, the mango tree doesn't die. The mango tree keep producing. the grass keep producing. Even though you eat it, it's coming back. So there are lots of differences. That's not actually kind of biological, but there are so many other biological stuff you will know when you just Google, and there are so many things. So that tells us our body is clearly for plant, not for animals. Mhm.
Okay. I think we have quite a lot of interesting information about this topic, and also we have a few more questions. I would like to present this to you. Kathy Chu asks, can we also have the links? I think this is, we already answered this. Can we also have links for the resources? We will just share it
Um, but
later on.
let me share the screen. I will show you some titles of some videos, documentaries. I think you must watch them. Would you
Yeah.
show my
Okay.
screen? Okay, let me show this one.
We also cannot show videos like YouTube videos because of copyright issue, but we can just send the links. That should be okay. And I think this should be good.
Yeah, actually,
Like,
you can just. Yeah, this will be there probably in the this in your video, right? So just write down these titles:
mm,
Forks over knives, Forks over knives, uh, Vegucated, Cowspiracy, Food Inc., The Game Changers, What the Health, Vegan. There are a couple of series: Vegan 2018, 2019, 2020, some videos, and also most importantly, Eating You Alive, How Not to Die, uh, and yeah, just watch a couple of these, and then you will know what we are doing. So,
what is the third one?
Cowspiracy. This one,
Interesting word.
Cowspiracy. This is telling about the environment, the
Okay.
destruction that we do to the environment by animal eating.
The fourth one is Food Inc., right?
Yeah, Food Inc.
And the fifth one, Game Changes.
The Game Changers. Yes.
Okay. And then we have What the Health and
What the hell?
Vegan
Vegan
28.
2018. Hmm.
Okay. So I just shared that one also. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and just add uh, Eating You Alive. Eating You Alive.
Okay.
Normally, you have to pay for. I mean, these are all in Netflix, but there are free versions now online. You can check them.
Okay.
There are
Thank
many
you.
more. Yeah, there are
Yeah.
many more.
Okay. We have Tushari. Very good discussion. Blessing to all. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, Katicho also said thank you. And this one, as vegetarians, is egg okay to consume?
No, I won't touch eggs at all. Eggs and chicken is the same thing, the same industry. Uh, Ethically, I don't take, but even health wise, environment wise, no, eggs is not good. It is high cholesterol, animal cruelty, and there are compounds called TMAO. TMAO. Just Google this name and you see, like, and fish also, fish and eggs. There are a lot of TMAO. It's a very poisonous compound in addition to the animal fat hormones and other things. I would not take it. Now, actually, there are two words. One is vegetarian. When you say vegetarian, yeah, vegetarians are the people who don't eat meat or fish but take eggs and milk. Vegetarians. But the vegans means you are doing away with all animal stuff, including egg and milk. But when you
But I
say a vegetarian,
But I
Sorry,
think
Bante.
in Sri Lanka, like when we say vegetarian, we never heard the word veganism before.
Yeah,
So I think in Sri Lanka, vegetarianism also means no egg. Um,
yeah,
and but in Thailand and some other countries, they consider eggs as vegetarian.
yeah, yeah. The thing that we need to know is there are two things actually we need to know. One is if you go on ethical basis, like oh, we are not killing chickens, but we are just taking the eggs. So
Mm.
uh, actually, we need to know that the egg and the chicken industry is the same. I told you earlier, when they hatch the eggs, if the animal is a male, they kill instantly, because no point of for them to keep the male chick for a long time, because they have to feed them. So what they do is they get eggs first and then they kill. Egg is part of it, like dairy cows. Only females are coming under this torture. Males are being killed instantly in the first day itself. So milk first, then meat. So when it comes to the poultry, it is eggs first, then kill. So it's 50-50. So on ethical grounds also, I would not take it, but for the health and environment also the same thing, and it's very harmful to the health,
Mm.
and therefore we should not take. But it's all up to the listeners. But I would not take. I would never touch. I even would not uh, take a milk chocolate. I would not take a cake or anything that has eggs.
I
I
think we
totally
have
agree.
a question by UD Ortega Lopez. She says, "How about cheese?"
How about cheese? 70% fat. You should totally avoid it. Let me, Bante, show me okay. Can you hear the voice?
How do you describe
Yes,
someone like Neil Bernard,
Can you hear, Bante?
who is a
we can hear.
researcher, a CEO, a doctor, a psychiatrist? You
Huh?
probably didn't know that one.
Yeah, we can hear.
You can hear?
A
Mhm.
professional musician, an activist, a best selling author. Maybe you describe him as someone who never sleeps. How does someone rack up so many accomplishments like this in just one lifetime? I mean, any one of these things would be a huge accomplishment. Oh, you're a doctor? Really? You're a psychiatrist? You're a best-selling author? In addition to all that, he is the founder of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. And there's so many things I could say about Dr. Bernard. He was just in the paper again Friday. I don't know, did any of you guys see that? The USDA has come out with a ruling that the dairy industry can no longer make a marketing claim that milk makes you thin or milk keeps you thin. Yeah. And the reason for that is Dr. Neil Bernard. Please give a hero's welcome to our next speaker, Dr. Neil Bernard.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. And thank you to Jeff and Sabrina for putting on a wonderful conference. Can we thank them? Thank you for all you do. Thanks for inviting me to come back. I want to talk about cheese. Can foods be addicting? There were some researchers at the University of Michigan, and they brought together 384 people, and they said to them,
Okay, Bante, you can stop it, because it. Now I want you to listen to this talk.
Which foods do you have trouble cutting down with? Which ones cause you to lose control? And just even when you're full, you're still having.
Okay, cheese is very harmful. So I would recommend you to watch a couple of these Neil Bernard videos. So Neil Bernard is a person actually I can worship. These doctors, they are doing such a wonderful job educating us that no one else can do. So when it comes to cheese, Actually, any dairy product is very difficult to get out from dairy. Why? It is addictive. What is the reason for the addiction? It actually it has morphine. There's a substance called casomorphine.
Mm.
So it is very addictive. You can't get up from cheese and dairy and butter and things like that. That because of that addiction, it is actually we are taking drugs. When you say we are eating cheese, meaning that we are drugged by morphine. That is why so hard to get out from that.
Mm.
So I would recommend you to watch Neil Bernard. And there are so many. I mean, when you see whether cheese is good or bad, but this particular one, I like it. He is going into very details scientifically why it is bad for us.
Mm.
So I would encourage you to check that out. Thank you.
Okay. Just one last question I think I have. Um, like they say, like there are a lot of artificial eggs, like the when it comes to eggs now we have in the market, it doesn't involve the male and the female. So does it mean? So they say it's not really meat. It's just like a protein
Yeah,
ball.
understand. So basically, what they say is that there's the eggs, there are no life inside.
Hmm.
So to that aspect, ethical aspects, of course, maybe yes, but when it comes to health, the same thing, same substances,
Hmm.
same cholesterol, same fat, um,
Hmm.
same hormones in those. So I would not take it because of the uh, health factors.
Okay. So Judy is thank you for this informative and information. All right. So I think this was a great beginning today, and I did not expect this to go such a long time. But I'm sure we had a lot of things to discuss and also to ask from Mr. Mahinkanda. He proved that how important it is to learn about this practice. And the Buddha said, "Arogya Paramalabha, health is wealth." So when we eat, we also have to be very careful, and it's always important to uh, practice um, like non-violence and inner peace, and how important it is for all of us to practice loving kindness and compassion to all sentient beings. When we say Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhitatta, may all sentient beings be well, happy, and healthy. So we have an ethical duty to respect all the other living beings. So that way, the world can be a better place for all of us. Maybe we will invite Mr. Mahin Kanda for another session afterwards, after coming back from Sri Lanka. I know you're going back to Sri Lanka also to involve in a lot of social welfare activities. And again, thank you so much. With that, we conclude today's guest lecture, and we look forward to meeting you with more interesting topics like this in the coming weeks. Please contact us if you have any interesting and useful topic. And we would also like to invite you, if you are interested in joining us in this weekly guest lecture series. I would like to invoke blessings upon Mr. Mahin Kanda for kindly accepting our invitation for this inaugural speech. May you may you always be well, happy, and healthy, dear Mr. Mahin Kanda. Let's also keep our palms together close to our heart and pray that by the power of all the Dana Sila Bhavana activities that we have performed during our lifetime and during our whole course of samsara, may they all become one united power, and may it be shared with all the celestial beings. May all the wonderful celestial beings, including respectful Brahmas and Devas, and all sentient beings, receive this merit, share this merit, be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May all of you and may all of your departed ones also receive this merit and be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May all of us be able to live our life peacefully, comfortably, and with good health. May all of us and all sentient beings be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, the absolute peace and happiness at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, please keep your palms together close to our heart and say 3 times Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. See you again next week at the same time. Good night and Theruvam Saranam.
Thank you, Bhante, and everyone. Thiruvan Saranai.
Thank you.